after you've popped. The key here is to focus on shifting your weight from the rear to the front of your board after you've popped your ollie. And if you're properly popping and jumping towards your front foot, this should eliminate the back heavy problem and help you stay above your board while you're doing a rolling ollie. And the last big problem I see people having when trying to learn their ollies is that they tend to turn their shoulders, which causes them to land at 90 degrees. And this probably happens to people whether you're learning stationary or rolling, but if this is what you do while standing still and then you try and do it while rolling, it's going to be pretty hard because you won't be able to land straight to roll away cleanly. In order to fix this, you need to be really aware of what your shoulders are doing. A lot of people don't even realize they're doing it, but if you're doing an ollie and you open up your shoulders, then your board is going to follow and you're going to turn 90 degrees. So it's really important to keep your shoulders straight, almost in line with the board when you do an ollie. And the same motion I mentioned before about naturally jumping towards your nose when you're rolling should really help with keeping your shoulders straight, because for whatever reason, the momentum going forward tends to keep your shoulders and body in the right position. So just really make sure you pay attention to how you're moving your upper body when doing an ollie. Now, I know I've said a lot about the benefits of learning ollies while rolling, and that's all true, but it's not to say you can't practice a good ollie while standing still. But if you're a beginner who's just now learning ollies, I think that getting really comfortable on your board first, and then starting off practicing your ollies while moving will help ingrain the proper techniques from the start. And also, you can always use similar methods that you would use to practice an ollie while standing still and apply them to a rolling ollie. Practicing while rolling and ollieing into the grass is a great way to get comfortable with the whole feeling that you need to get used to. So if you've already learned how to practice while standing still, you can still learn how to ollie while rolling too. It's just a matter of focusing on the specific points that I mentioned in this video. The key here is balance, control, and proper technique. And you'll probably start off a little wobbly and uncomfortable with some rocketed ollies, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. So just remember to keep it real and keep pushing yourself. As always, I'd like to thank my lovely Patreon pledgers. They always keep me rolling with their support. And besides that, I'd like to thank you for watching, and you can like and subscribe if you want. How to ollie while rolling. So if this concept sounds easy or stupid to you, then you can go ahead and skip this one. But this is actually one of my most requested videos, and seeing as how a ton of people first learn their ollies while standing still, I thought we could take a look at a few of the common problems that people have when making that transition from stationary to moving ollies. And first off, I just want to say that if you're brand new to skateboarding and you're just now learning ollies, then I highly suggest you learn them while rolling in the first place, even if it's while rolling extremely slow. This will save you a whole lot of trouble in the long run once you start to get them down better. Now, I think that one of the main reasons people start off learning their ollies while standing still is that it just feels safer. All you have to focus on is the ollie itself, and you can practice in the grass or in a crack, but I also feel like this can lead to learning some bad habits when it comes to the ollie. So most of the time when I first see someone learning an ollie, it looks something like this. The nose gets up in the air and the back wheels come up a few inches, and the person will generally land back heavy. Now, part of this is just the natural learning steps to an ollie. You can't expect to pop your ollie super high and leveled out right from the start. But I think if you do practice your ollies while rolling, it can help fix a few of these problems. Specifically, making sure that your weight isn't too far back when you land, and helping you have more control over your board in general. Now, before you go any further, I would highly suggest that you watch my other How to Ollie videos. I try to go pretty in depth about how to ollie and all the little mistakes that you could be making along the way. So one thing I see a lot of people having trouble with is that they're not comfortable enough just riding their board. If you go to set up for an ollie and you feel off balance and like you're barely hanging on, then this is obviously going to make it more difficult to ollie while rolling. The key to learning how to ollie while rolling in a controlled way is to feel well balanced and comfortable. So I would suggest that you get extremely comfortable just riding around, turning, and messing around with little kick turns at first. And then once you really have a grasp of feeling stable and having control of your board, you can move on to actually trying the ollies while rolling. So the next thing to focus on are those back heavy landings that I mentioned before. While you're standing still, you tend to ollie by jumping straight up and then landing straight down. This causes rocketed ollies that when you try while moving, will cause you to either kick the board out in front of you or land on the tail. When you try ollieing while rolling, you naturally tend to jump forward towards the nose of your board, which helps you maintain control after you've popped. The key here is to focus on shifting your weight from the rear to the front of your board after you've popped your ollie. And if you're properly popping and jumping towards your front foot, this should eliminate the back heavy problem and help you stay above your board while you're doing a rolling ollie. And the last big problem I see people having when trying to learn their ollies